friends, and welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, the daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. From right here in the Impact Power Sports studio, Impact Power Sports online at impactpowersportsmi.com. ATV, UTV, side-by-side, e-bike, motorcycle, snowmobile, lawnmower, scooter, go-kart, all that fun stuff. You can get at Impact Power Sports. They've got a great service department as well. Okay, today it is another Big Fraud Tuesday. Last week we did Big Fraud Tuesday. This week we're doing it again because the schedule works out that this is the only day I have available. Thank you to Ben Glaze for having that type of flexibility so that we can get these shows in and not miss a beat. Very, very cool. Just realized I'm wearing the same thing today as I wore yesterday. Again, that's how I roll. It's get out of bed, grab the clothes that are on the ground, get dressed in the dark, have no idea what I'm doing, and pretty much wear sweatpants, sweats all the time, and slippers. Not so bad. It's comfy. Let me just say that. So, all right, at 6 p.m. today, that is when we get going with Who Are These Free Beers? Ben Glaze and I both reviewed yesterday's amazing Free Beer and Hot Wings show, which featured no Kelly and no free beer. So you've got the boring twins, Hot Wings and Steve, and Maitland, who doesn't know what planet she's on, and Tommy, who's a little boy, running a syndicated morning show. You know how all the times that people are like, man, how come Hot Wings doesn't run it? How come Hot Wings, when Freeber's not there, how come Hot Wings doesn't run it and Kelly does? Now I understand. He's shit. He is so bad at broadcasting. Wow. I don't remember him being this miserable at it. But it was unbelievably bad. Ben Glaze reviewed the first half of it. I reviewed the second half of it. I have a ton of clips to share with you to illustrate exactly what I'm talking about how bad of a broadcaster this idiot is. He sucks. Now, he's probably a great guy. In fact, it's difficult for me to say that Hot Wings is a bad dude. It really is. By the way, I'm getting some little hiccups and burps on the stream that are telling me that this thing's acting up a little bit. If that's the case, my apologies. Not a bad dude, but miserable. Absolutely miserable when it comes to broadcasting. And I just cannot wait to share this with you when we take care of Who Are These Free Beers, 6 p.m. It's on my Patreon. You must sign up for free. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Go there right now. Totally different platform than what this is on. This is the pay-for-play platform that I have. Patreon. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. There's a spot you can click, sign up for 7 days free, and get it as we do it live. It's a live show like this one. Ben Glaze and myself. Tonight, 6 p.m. The audio will be made available the following day. So sometime tomorrow, I'll make the audio version available for it. Now, after the 7 days, I'm going to charge you either $5 or $10 a month based on what you want. But this is truly a 7-day trial. You can sign up for it, legit, and cancel it if you want. And you still get the 7 days. And if after the 7 days, you're like, hey, I think I like it. Just go back in there and enable your card, and then that's it. I'll charge you $5 or $10 based on what you want. $10 is audio, video, live streams, participation. in the Zoom, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast Zoom. $5 a month is all of the audio. So there you go. That's what's happening. Followed by the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. That starts at about 7 p.m. So from 6 till about 8:30, we've got all of those shows on Patreon on a Big Fraud Tuesday. Every day I put new material out on the Patreon, but on the Big Fraud days, we do the nighttime shows. It's easy to get caught up. There are literally thousands of shows for you to check out on my Patreon. Patreon. I almost forgot what it was. .com/Eric Zane. Today's interesting because you've got this show. You've got my Patreon bonus podcast. I've got Who Are These Broadcasters with Christian Blatt on the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel. And then I have Big Fraud Tuesday. We're looking there in the neighborhood of about 6.5 hours of broadcast. Really, really busy. Not to mention the morning radio show on Q100 and the afternoon radio show on Big 101.3. That's a lot. Now, granted, that's only voice tracking, but whatever. Bad news here is I just realized I don't have my throat lozenges. I'll have to grab those momentarily. Alan says his Twitch feed is tweaking. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, we are getting that. I am seeing it right now. I am seeing that Twitch is being a complete bitch. It's coming and going. So this is what I'll do. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get out in front of this. With the Twitch stream acting up, if it continues to do this, what I'll do is I'll just end the stream and then restart it like we like to do. So my apologies for that. Sometimes I'm at the mercy of that. Don't know why that happens, but whatever. Let me just tell you, though. I woke up today, and this was crazy to me. So I wake up, and I let the dogs outside, and I go to Facebook, whatever. I look at my notifications, and someone has made a post about me on the Segment 18 Facebook page, and they've said, yeah, this is ridiculous. EZ always posts pictures of people and makes fun of them. Well, look at this picture of them. And I took one look at it, and I go, what? And it was right away, I was like, well, I don't think this is right. I don't think that that's me. I mean, it was me, but it was, it looked like it had been fucked with, like Photoshop or AI. And I was like, am I really that ugly? Is it? I mean, I know I'm not exactly the prettiest flower, but I'm not sure that that's really a representation of me. And I was so annoyed with that because people were like, oh my God, can you believe that? And they're like beating the shit out of me for how ugly I was in this picture. And again, I had been up for like 30 seconds. This is that image. I took one look at it and I go, wait a minute. That nose doesn't look right. It's my nose doesn't look like that. And my head is too tall here. Something's happened. Hysterical, yes. The guy wrote, so Eric Zane creates a group under a fake name, pretends to be a Free Beer and Hot Wings fan. Okay, so this guy, Frank, is suggesting that because there have been a few times on here where I've said that I am the admin for that page, and that's all I've done. And this moron believes it. I'm not, but it doesn't matter. It's out there now. So they all spread that nonsense for me because of posts like this. All I had to do was say it a few times that I am Will Monroe, who is the guy who runs this thing. And they all believe it. So Eric Zane creates a group under a fake name, pretends to be a Freebird and Hot Wings fan because secretly he loves them. It's true, I do. And then sits around like a creepy hall monitor waiting for someone to mention him. Once they do, he obsessively scrolls through their Facebook profiles for hours so he can fire off appearance-based insults like a fragile, immature fourth grader. Now, most of that is true. Most of that is true. I don't sit around, though, like a creepy hall monitor, but waiting for someone to mention me. But if they do, then I will look at their pics, but not for hours. It doesn't take long. It takes like 10 seconds, so that's not a big deal. Like a fragile, immature fourth grader. Frank says that's insecurity wrapped in fake bravado. I'm not sure what that means. Imagine having so little going on in your life that this is how you spend your time: burner accounts, stalking strangers, and lashing out because your ego can't handle being irrelevant. I'm sure your family is thrilled. Okay. And since you love the personal attack so much, here's one you earned. Holy crap, look at that beak on this bird. That thing could scout landings from 30,000 feet. And so I looked at that. I was like, my God, I am a fucking ugly motherfucker. And at first I thought that was me. And I go, wait a minute. That is not true at all. So I took a picture of myself and I wrote, nice try. This is my profile. I was so glad I did that. By the way, this neck here, see my chin? This is about the only thing that I'm really, really conscious of. Conscientious. What's the word I'm looking for there? I'm really sensitive about this fat underneath my neck. You didn't need to post that picture. All you needed to do was show that I have, like, this huge fat ass giblet nussy. That's what you park on. You didn't need to make the distorted picture of my nose and forehead. You only needed to focus on my nussy there. And I would have felt bad, but you fucked it up. That's the first thing I did this morning. It's fucking 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm taking a picture of myself to show, hey, this is how I actually look. You asshole. All right. It's still hysterical, though. Oh, my God. I am so happy that this happened. Hurricane Ashley laughs at the fact that I said, all right, most of that is true. I mean, all right. Branjo and Maureen says, you want to say self-conscious. I still sounds like I'm saying that weird. Wrestling toys in the butt guy is who that was. Okay. The hair doesn't look right either. Scott says they so think that you are running that page. Oh, my God. Clown of Carnage says, did you have a chin removal surgery? You see, if someone said that about me, I would be bummed out because of my double chin. Ben Glaze says, your chin versus Free Beer's hair. Which is worse? Which reminds me, I got to send this to myself so that I can share it with you. And my God. I guess the Burn King is again not at work today. So the suggestion that I need to also, I'm not kidding you. I had, it was actually getting on my nerves at how shitty Hot Wings is at broadcasting. Ben Glaze and I both reviewed yesterday's episode, and I am very, very excited about reviewing it with you coming up today when we do Who Are These Free Beers? Now we've talked about Greg's hair And this is absurd many times. And I don't know what's going on and why he just shave it off. He does these things with what little hair he has that makes it really stand out how horrible it is. Look at his hair. He's actually styling it like that. It looks like he stuck his finger in a fucking light socket. That is so bad. Jesus. I sent this along to Ben Glaze. I sent it along to Radio Voice Linda. And Linda, it was just before bedtime. And she's like, oh, my God, I can't. Thank you for that. How am I going to sleep? Wow. All right. Now, what's great about when I make attacks on people, I don't distort the pictures. All the times that I have shown pictures of people, I haven't had to manipulate them like whoever that was that manipulated that picture of me with the nose and the forehead and the whatever that fucking thing was. I don't know how to do that. Chris in Buffalo writes, hey, Molly, is this okay to talk about? Shit. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, what's really funny is that Hot Wings finally had to learn to run the board. No, he didn't. He had the intern, Tommy, whatever that guy's name is, the child run the board. There's two little kids on that show. Tyler wrote, somebody took a pic with the nose's nose and had AI put it on an EZ pic. I don't know what you mean by the nose's nose. Who could that be? I don't reference. I'm not referencing that. You are. I'm just reading your comment. Probably going to get in trouble for that. Not your fault. My fault. No big deal. Tyler says, oh, it's just somebody I know. You wouldn't know that person. Or no, you wouldn't know her. Okay, if you say so. All right. So that, I couldn't believe, I was actually annoyed with that. With the fact that that picture existed. And I was, for a period of time, being that it was first thing in the morning, I was like, is that me? Is that really me? And I went, no, it's not you, you asshole. Yesterday, I promised to share with you a picture of Pooh Bear and my dad. This is my dad's, one of his favorite people on the planet. Again, does not know who I am anymore. Hey, how are you, sir? And then he sees her, and he's like, oh, my God, I love you, dear. Look at him. By the way, he looks great. For 92 years old, are you kidding me? He's all snuggled up with his little blankie there, and he's got his Pooh Bear next to him. She's got the long drink, and she's just cuddling up next to my dad. He adores her. He adores her, and he, of course, his wife, and all of my stepsisters. All right, I've got 3 stepsisters. They're all blondes, and he thinks they're his nurses. And so this was the conversation. They're all like milling about, waiting on him, everything. And he goes, I am going to talk to your supervisors about you getting a raise. You are excellent workers. And so that's kind of how it goes. I was talking with Joanne, and she's just so amazing. I just love her to death. And I was talking with her, and I go, so can you tell me how it goes how do they determine that a person has dementia? And I'm not sure 100%, but she did tell me this one thing that I found very interesting. She said it was years ago, and we were both at the doctor, and the doctor had it was a clock, not a real clock, just a diagram of a clock with movable hands, but no numbers. And he said to my dad, if it's 11:15, put the hands in the proper position on this clock. So you can imagine you would put the small hand on the 11 and the big hand on the 3. And he looked at him and he goes, I can't do it. I can't do it. And this was probably 6 years ago-ish. No, it was more than that, because January 6, 2020 was the asshole convention at the Capitol. And he was already, it was when I was broadcasting on BBL. So probably sometime 2018, 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. He didn't know. I was like, oh my God. All right. Not to bring the room down. It's just one of the things that's going on. It's on the top of my mind. And, we're all going through it in one way, shape, or form. But I wanted to share that picture with you because I know you all love updates on my beloved dad. So there he is with one of his favorite people in the whole world, my Pooh Bear. There was someone on the I know I'm jumping around, but somebody who took a run at Pooh Bear too on the segment 18 page. So this gives you an idea of what's going on. First of all, I'm not going to take a run at the physical qualities of these people or lack thereof until they attack me. I wouldn't dare take a run at somebody for no particular reason. All right? I have to be in sight. There has to be some type of aggressiveness towards me, which is how I roll. If you're going to do that, I'm going to take a shot at you. I don't distort the pictures. They do, these people, whoever did that. And I'm not taking I take it back. I've probably taken a run at significant others for beat. Like if you got a guy there and his wife weighs like 6 bills, I will but that's because she weighs 6 bills. These people are taking a run at Pooh Bear. I mean, that is some serious, dangerous territory to be in. Not so much from me, but from her. My God, she will make you her little project. You do not want this, okay? All right. Amy says, how the hell is Hot Wings, does he have the same job for 25 years and never learned how to run a board? He's never known how to do that. He is technically, and not only technically when it comes to the board, but just the idea of, he doesn't have the acumen to speak into a microphone. He struggles so badly. And, oh, shit. Thank God I don't have to put up with that. One of the things that I used to have to endure when I would talk on the air was if I was on a roll that I would equate it to a bowl of dog food. And I'm always going to get the most food. You got 3 people trying to get into the dog food. You got me, who's going to eat 7/8 of the food. Free Beer will get some, and Hot Wings will just stand there. He does not rush into the bowl. He's starved. And I'm like, fuck, you got to get in there and throw some elbows to get the fucking food. And I would always feel bad about getting all the food. I was like, look, I'm not supposed to be getting all the food here. My name is not even on the sign of this show. Why am I talking 85% of the time. I didn't say get on my back and I'll carry you. That's why whenever I would beat him up, I was like, well, that's the only thing you're good for on the show is for me to talk about how shitty you are because you suck dick at broadcasting. You're fucking horrible. My God. Hey, this is Eric Zane, and your information is being sold online. You know, the personal stuff. Search your own name. It's surprising what's out there. That's because people are taking your information and they're selling it. I've got a way to make all of your personal information disappear. You are not for sale. Whether you agreed to it or not, that information is available for people to buy and sell. Not okay. It's 100% true. Data brokers make billions selling your private details, and you get nothing. You don't even get a choice. Aura lets you fight back. AURA. They remove your personal data from broker sites and keep it off. Aura also alerts you fast if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura is more than just data broker removal. It's a full digital security suite that protects every part of your life online. Aura gives you a VPN to stay private, antivirus to block threats, a password manager to keep login safe, and spam call protection to cut off the scammers. Aura also scans the dark web for your most sensitive info like your social security number, bank logins, and passwords, and notifies you instantly if they are exposed. And if your identity is ever stolen, you're backed up by up to $5 million in insurance and 24/7 U.S.-based fraud support to help you recover quickly. And right now, you can try Aura free for 14 days when you visit aura.com/remove. AURA.com/remove. That's enough time for Aura to start removing your personal information from data broker sites. Sign up today at aura.com/remove and get the peace of mind that your privacy, identity, and finances are safeguarded. AURA.com/remove. Certain terms apply. See the site for details. Rebecca is here. Boy, you missed a lot. You missed a lot. I don't want to rehash it, but you're going to love the beginning of this show, the first 27 minutes, 35 seconds of it. Chris says it sucks because it seems like Hot Wings is a solid dude. Yes, just not equipped to be near a microphone. Ben Glaze says, listening back, there's tons of segments that you ran, never Hot Wings. Yeah, it's true. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that today. All right, moving on. I want to get into this, little bit of this Venezuela thing, because the headline reads, Trump rejects comparisons between Iraq and Venezuela. Now, on its surface, when I see that, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, they are different. I mean, I think that would only be the same in the fact that we're invading a foreign land. Iraq was weird because the Bush administration said we were going there to eliminate the weapons of mass destruction. They did not exist. And we killed all these people. And then we had to rebuild the country. About the only thing that we got out of it was we found Saddam Hussein, and he was hung by the Iraqis. One less dictator. By the way, how are they running Iraq now? We haven't heard anything about Iraq. So are you suggesting that I mean, I don't know what you're suggesting by rejecting the comparisons. But what he meant by that, from what I'm understanding, Bush said, no. You see, they're not at all the same. Because when we went into Iraq, with that being an oil-rich country, we went into there and we did not keep their oil. The difference between the two are, we are, in fact, going to keep Venezuela's oil. Okay. I don't know if that's something that you want to. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. Everybody, half the country loves Trump. Half the country plus. I would say a lot more than half the country loves Trump now because of what went down in Venezuela. The fact that he's so bold to say, oh, no, it's not at all like Iraq. The Iraqi people kept that oil. The Venezuelans are not. We're going to keep the oil. Really? Now, I did watch, and I want to get into it here because it's long. It's a 4-minute interview on Air Force One where they're trying to get him to say that. He doesn't say that at all in this interview on Air Force One. He focuses on that American, or I don't know if they're American, but all the big oil companies, whoever, BP, Chevron, they're all going into Venezuela to rebuild the infrastructure. From what I do understand is the mechanism to how they get the oil out of the ground in Venezuela is very much in need of repair. It's outdated, and they are not nearly at the capacity that they could be with the amount of oil that they have underground in Venezuela. They're putting out just a small percentage of what they're capable of putting out. So all these companies are going to go in, and they're going to spend billions of dollars redoing all the things that you need to get oil out of the ground, and then they will get oil out of the ground. In that interview, he also said, yes, and the people of Venezuela, their country will be rebuilt, and all of the crazy things that went on when a dictator was running that country, they will be very happy with the country. But then I see in this headline, it says, we're going to keep the oil. The difference between between Iraq and this is that former President George W. Bush did not keep the oil. We are going to keep the oil, Trump said, according to Morning Joe's Joe Scarborough, who detailed his conversation with the president. Quote, in 2016, I said we should have kept the oil. It caused a lot of controversy. Well, we should have kept the oil. The MS Now host continued quoting Trump, and we're going to rebuild the broken down oil facilities, and this time we're going to keep the oil. Okay. About the only thing I can say about that is at least he's honest. Is it right that we're keeping the oil of the Venezuelans? I mean, I don't know. I would think that if you take the oil out of the ground, it should be used to pay for the infrastructure and to help support the people in Venezuela, right? Am I getting this wrong? Why are we keeping that oil? That doesn't seem right to me. Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into 2 parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Comments to Scarborough come after the president told NBC News on Monday that he was open to the U.S. supporting oil companies to help build up Venezuela's infrastructure, which he said could take less than 18 months. I think we can do it in less time than that, but it'll be a lot of money. Trump added a tremendous amount of money will have to be spent, and the oil companies will spend it, and then they'll get reimbursed by us or through revenue. Okay, what's also weird here is the point of all of this, we were told, is to cut off the head of the serpent when it comes to narco-terrorism and drug trafficking. Yet the top story is about oil. I think Trump, by saying, look, I will talk to you about this if you want, but he needs to be told that the main focus of what you need to be answering is the end of the dictatorship and narco-terrorism, the fact that, well, at least the U.S. government says that Maduro and his wife are running a drug empire. That is what should be the big takeaway here. But here we are talking about oil one day later from when we first started talking about this. My God. I don't know, man. Patrick says we shouldn't clean up their drug operation for free. Take the oil or some of it. Don says, should we give the oil away to China and Russia? Maybe that would make people happy. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I think that if we were doing it right, the oil would be sold the way you do that. You don't give it to anybody. And, you know, it's for profit. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Red Bull Brain Chris says U.S. oil companies built all the oil infrastructure and were then kicked out by Maduro when he nationalized the oil industry. All right. Perhaps I'm missing something there. Cole says he should also mention he's bringing Venezuelans to America. Isn't that what a bunch of lefties wanted? I don't know. All right, so that's the latest. There's also the talk about gasoline prices, and there's one guy on the planet who knows everything there is to know about gasoline prices. His name is Patrick DeHaan, and he's from right here in West Michigan. And he's an analyst, and he runs a company called GasBuddy.com. Talking about gas prices. What does this all mean for gas prices? Right now, virtually nothing. Following the capture, Trump said the U.S. will take control of the oil reserves, pushing American companies to invest in the country's struggling oil industry. But according to Patrick DeHaan, it could take years for the U.S. to see gas prices affected by U.S. investment. Keep in mind, Venezuela, under many, many years of U.S. sanctions, has seen its infrastructure crumble, mismanagement, and lack of investment. I mean, Venezuela's oil output, is just above 10% of where it was decades ago. Venezuela's oil output represents 0.4% of the global oil supply. So we won't see anything. Not for a long, long time. However, gas prices generally are cheaper around here where we're at. So there's that. All right. Some idiot was proposing to his significant other on a sky bridge. And he dropped the ring, and it fell through the slats. My God. What a catastrophe. This is how it went.
Picture-perfect proposal that turned to panic at Boyne Mountain. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Duffy. It played out like a scene from a movie. An engagement ring slipping from shaking hands and plunging more than 100 feet down a snow-covered slope.
Did you see that?
I'm Mike Duffy.
That is fantastic. He's like, and then he drops the ring and it's gone.
Slipping from shaking hands and plunging more than 100 feet down a snow-covered slope. But one determined hero stepped in, turning a heart-stopping moment into a fairy tale ending. Tonight, the couple spoke with 7
Okay, he looks like he kind of looks like some kind of like mutant, this guy.
Reporter Brett Cast, and shared the story behind the day they'll never forget.
For a couple months, I kind of had it planned in my head that I wanted to do it. And she...
All right, she needs to run because of what he's done to his ears. Boy, she's a cutie, by the way. She needs to leave town right away. He's a dope. He dropped the ring. He's got gauges.
Kept sending me TikToks.
People with gauges should not have happiness.
This, that, and the other. Kept hinting.
Trevor Van Camp had long been planning for the moment he would ask his longtime girlfriend, Danielle Jenkins, to marry him. Living in Rochester Hills, she had been wanting to go up north to visit the Sky Bridge at Boyne Mountain. So Trevor thought their weekend trip to Boyne last month was the perfect time and place to get on one knee.
I told her, I said, I'm going to have the couple behind us take a picture. And so I went and told him, and I whispered into the lady's ear, I said, I'm going to propose.
With the camera rolling, Trevor snuck the ring out of his jacket pocket and got on one knee. But it was at this exciting moment, Trevor's plan quite literally went downhill fast.
I'm shaking because I'm scared of heights. And I'm afraid she's going to say no, this, that, and the other. Just a domino effect of things, really.
As Trevor went to pull out the ring, it fell from his hand, slipped through the bridge, and tumbled 118 feet onto a snow-covered ski hill.
I didn't even get to see the ring. I just knew it fell, and I went, uh-oh.
The couple alerted Boyne staff, who got metal detectors to help the couple search. But after more than 2 hours, they called it.
We kind of gave up and thought it was a lost cause at that point.
But the snowmaking supervisor who was helping them told the couple he would keep at it. And in the overnight hours, he had a hit.
When I swung over one of the footprints, it toned. I dug the snow down like I'd done probably 30 other times, 40 other times, and there was just dirt there. So I kind of dug some of the dirt up, scooped it back with a little bit of snow away with my hand, and then the edge of the ring stuck out.
That's not how you do it, by the way. You're supposed to lift out some snow, set it aside, scan again. If it hits where you were, dig more. Or you can dig once, take what you dug, and scan that. But it isn't just dig, dig, dig. You're going to lose it.
Kind of sat there for a minute, and I was like, there's no way you just found that.
The next morning, before they left town,
if it's real,
the couple
I doubt it's real.
Got the good news and the engagement ring, now firmly.
There's no way a guy with gauges like that can afford a real ring like that. There's no way.
On Danielle's finger.
It was awesome. I can't thank Boyne enough or Pat himself enough for doing that for us. You know, it was awesome.
Yeah. Wow. It was a big story. It was something crazy to tell, and now it's our story to tell.
And Trevor and Danielle tell me they want to bring this story full circle by having their wedding at Boyne Mountain in 2027. In Rochester Hills, I'm Brett Cast, 7 News Detroit.
Stay away. Stay away. We don't want riffraff here. My God. Tyler says EZ professional metal detector is dropping knowledge. Molly writes, why couldn't he afford it? You don't know his income. No, I do. Of course I do. Did you see the gauges? I guarantee you, he makes less than minimum wage. Rich is here. He says that guy cashed in all his stolen catalytic converters for that ring. With Tyler saying EZ professional metal detectors, it's true. I've got a metal detector. Of course I have a metal detector. I've got a good metal detector. I bought it off my dad. He would not just give it to me. He had before he started losing his mind, he sold all his shit. And I go walking there, I go, Dad, look at, this is awesome. He goes, I go, how much is it? He goes, there's a price tag on it. And I go, yeah, I know, but I mean, it's me. He goes, $60, not a penny less. Kristen says he's a warehouse worker for sure. Yes. Becca Shea says maybe he's a tattoo artist. Yeah, they're all poor. Chris in Maine says cashed in the stack of inspection stickers he cut out of windshields with a Sawzall. We don't have that here in Michigan. We don't have inspection stickers. Some people are like, what the fuck's an inspection sticker? Ugh, you don't want to know. Nick says, I'm guessing EZ used metal detectors for 5 minutes and never again. The idea of the inspection sticker brings to mind a moment in time that tells me I should tell you the story about my inspection sticker catastrophe. When I moved to New Jersey, I had no idea about the strictness when it comes to inspections on the vehicle. I moved to New Jersey. I hadn't lived there very long, and I had not yet changed my license plate. So I'm driving around. I'm driving home from work. The radio station. I'm probably a mile and a half from where I live, and I get pulled over. And he goes, okay, you haven't gotten your New Jersey license plate yet. And I go, yeah, I know. I'm getting to it, though. And he goes, well, your tab's expired. So that's a problem. I go, okay. All right, well, it's been a crazy amount of time getting moved in, whatever. There's a million and one things you can say, and I said them all that they weren't liking that. And then he says, and you don't have a inspection sticker. I go, a what? Well, yeah, your vehicle has to be inspected so that it's roadworthy. I go, I do? He says, yes. It goes on the front of your vehicle. You don't, on the in the lower left-hand side of the windshield. I don't see it. So you need an inspection. I go, all right, well, I will get an inspection. Thank you. He goes, okay, we're impounding your vehicle. I go, what? He says, yeah, you don't have the right registration. You don't have the right license plate. You don't have an inspection sticker. And he took my vehicle, and he goes, walk home. Now, I came to the radio station the next day and talked about this guy, and he actually heard it. It was back when people used to listen to the radio. He heard it, and he was pissed off. Fast forward, months later, we did a remote at like some bar in Jersey, and that guy and all of his cop friends were there. It was incredibly awkward. Like they came out to like hang out. So I had to pay a ton of money to get my car back. And then I had to go and get it inspected. And the way they do this there is, at least they did back then, I don't know if they still do it, in order to get, it's a fucking racket. In order to get an inspection sticker, you have to drive to an inspection station. It's this big fucking building with like 5 different garage doors and cars, lines of cars into each one of them. And it's your turn. Come on up. You drive up there and you sit in the car and they stick a probe up the fucking tailpipe. And it's testing how the emissions, and it has to be at a certain level. And if it's above it, there's a problem. And so, of course, my car comes back. The emissions are jacked. And he goes, yeah, you don't pass. You fail. I go, what do I do? He goes, you got to go get it fixed. And they're not exactly the most helpful there. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck. And then I take off and I have to go and get it fixed. And then that was super expensive to get it repaired, whatever I had needed to get it done. And I think I failed one other time too for another reason. And finally I passed. This took so much time to get this thing done. Maureen says, oh my God, I thought you were going to say they stick a probe up your ass. Well, that would be enjoyable. Nick says, don't those commies in New Jersey not even let you pump your own gas? 100%. It's like a different country. And I didn't know that. And sure enough, I pull up to the gas station, I get out, and everybody who works at the gas stations are always Mexicans. This guy comes out speaking Spanish, telling me to get back in the car, screaming at me. He's like 4'1". And I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on here? And I go, no, I don't want full service. And sure enough, and they don't charge you anymore. It's not like full service where they charge you more for the price per gallon. They just have to pump it. And I don't know why. And I don't know why they don't just change it. And I've seen stories about this that says it can never be changed because of this reason, and this reason. It's like, well, that's bullshit. But I guess there's a whole infrastructure. Like 95% of all people that live in New Jersey pump gas for a living. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's my inspection sticker story. Nick says, I think I gave an emissions inspection the other night. Okay, so now that's a sex joke. Nick is suggesting that he stuck a probe up a tailpipe. That's what he's saying. He gave an emissions inspection last night or the other night. That's what he's saying there. Chris in Maine says, I'd take the full-service gas guy over tipping the bathroom attendant guy. Yeah, I would never do that. We went to a sandwich shop the other day, and I guess you are supposed to tip fast food now, or that at least they want. I didn't, but ordered a sandwich. She made the sandwich, paid for the sandwich. She hands it to me, and there's a tip jar right there. Tips are appreciated. It's like I can't do it. I'm not doing it. Got a no tip policy. Okay, I will tip a restaurant waiter who is making like $3 an hour. But if you're making $15 an hour as a sandwich artist, I'm not tipping you. Becca Shea says, yeah, unless you're waiting on me at a table, I'm not tipping. Yes, right. Tipping is only supposed to be for people who earn a wage that is conducive to having to get tips, like actually have to get tips. Okay? Like the money that I would make when I would do limo driving was shit. We're reliant on tips. There was only one time that I gave somebody a ride on a tip, and it was the longest trip ever, and I got totally stiffed. And you roll the dice on that deal. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.